Good morning, students. Today I am going to teach you Tughlaq by Girish Karnad. So before starting this play, I have to tell you something about Girish Karnad. So about Girish Karnad, he is born in May 1938. On 19th May 1938 in Manhattan, that is in Bombay, and he is related to Kannada language, especially all his work or most of his prior work is in Kannada language. He has international recognition and he is widely known for his playwrights as a playwright, actor, filmmaker, widely read essayist. So and more about him is he attended Karnataka Art College, Dhanbad, pursued masters in philosophy, political science and economics, and his first play is Yayati, and that comes in 1961 while he was in Oxford, and his second play is this Tughlaq, and it comes in 1964. And in 1970 he debuted as an actor and screenwriter with Kannada movie, that is Samskara. In 1971 he made his directorial debut with Vamsha Vriksha. Top honors are he has got his Padma Shri in 1974 and in Padma Bhushan in 1992 and Janpeeth Award in 1998. So this is quite introducing about Girish Karnad. So more about him is that he found a new approach of drawing historical and mythological sources to tackle the contemporary themes and existentials. Version of Mahabharata. Then one thing happened that he has read some version of Mahabharata written by C. Rajagopalacharya in 1951. This inspired him to write in new style, that is mixing historical and mythological event to tackle or comment on the contemporary issues. Okay, so now I would like to tell you about Tughlaq. It is an allegory on Jawaharlal Nehru's policies, and the subtitle of this play is Play in 13 Scenes. So the characters and mostly this is compared with Dr. Faustus and Alexander. This Tughlaq is compared with Dr. Faustus and Alexander. So this is a story about a 14th century Sultan of India, Tughlaq. So I would like to tell you about the characters. The characters of Tughlaq play. Tughlaq is Tughlaq, that is a headstrong, idealistic, secular, vulnerable Sultan, and he had his own idiosyncrasies and eccentricities. Then the other character is Najib, a politician and a shrewd contriver. He converted to Islam from Hinduism. Then there is Barani. The Barani is an historian, and from his mouth we have come to know about Tughlaq, and he is an historian and close associate of the Sultan. Then another character is stepmother of Sultan. Then is Aziz, a washerman, who you may call him a dhobi or washerman, and he is a washerman and from Sinkar, and he is a clever, manipulative, imaginative, selective and money minded person, and he looted everybody in the journey while going from Delhi to Daulatabad. Then is Azam, a friend and a partner of Aziz. And then another character is Sheikh Imamuddin, a Maulvi, harassed critic of Sultan, and he resembles in appearance with Sultan. Then one character is Anul Mulk, Nawab or Awadh, machining towards Delhi. He is a Nawab and he is marching towards Delhi with 30,000 soldiers. And one more character is Sihabuddin, who conspires against Sultan. So the story started. Before starting the story, I would like to tell you the timeline, the story in the short, and then I will tell you about the importance of this play in the present time. The story is about Tughlaq. So Tughlaq is a 14th century sultan or 14th century ruler of India. So the thing is that he has committed 3 mistakes in his life. The first mistake is that he has shifted his capital from Delhi to Daulatabad because Ainul Mulk is attacking his province again and again. So if he will shift his capital from Daulatabad, from Delhi to Daulatabad, that is south, he will be having a good rule upon Hindus and Muslims too. He is very fond of Muslims, Hindus, because he wanted to win their confidence. That is his agenda, that is his political agenda. Actually, he pretends to be very good to Hindus because that is his political agenda. He wanted to rule their heart, and so that he can rule in India for a larger period of time. And the second mistake he has committed is he introduced copper currencies in place of gold and silver coins. Because there is a heavy population, and because of the heavy population there is a demand of more currencies, and they don't have gold and silver much. So he has introduced a copper currency in place of the gold and silver coins, and the value of them are both the same. And the third mistake which he has committed is that he imposed heavy taxes on his population, excluding Hindus, and he has exempted Hindus from the jizya tax, so to win their favor. So this is in favor of Hindus. He is in favor of Hindus, just like Nehru is in favor of Muslim. Jawaharlal Nehru, I am talking about the Prime Minister of India, the first Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru. This is a satire, or there is an allegory. It is an allegory on Jawaharlal Nehru, on his Nehruvian policies. So going further with it is that he is in favor of Hindus, I have told you. So what happened when the play opens? It was the court scene, and Tughlaq is the man is Muhammad bin Tughlaq. He is talking that he will shift his capital from Delhi to Daulatabad. And this is the reason why, because he thinks that this Delhi is approachable and is very close to the borders, and it is very easy to invade Delhi. But if he will go to Daulatabad, it will be quite difficult for others to invade Daulatabad, and it is a Hindu province, and for this way he will have control over Hindus also. He knows that Muslims are in his favor because he is ruling Muslims, so he wanted to have the attentions and the favors of Hindus. So he doesn't even care that all the Muslims are against him. Likewise, if this happens with Jawaharlal Nehru also, he even don't care about the Hindu population. He always care for, or mostly shows, his political agenda is to win the heart of Muslims. So likewise in this there is a opposition. Here he is favoring Hindus. Then he is saying that, and then the old and the new generation of Muslims are saying that we don't understand what is this agenda of this new king in the Tughlaq. They call them mad king, because they are not understanding the agenda, and he even doesn't care to ask anybody that if they are going to south with him or not, because if they will go to south they will dislocate themselves, and if after dislocating themselves they will not having the real power or the real responsibilities likewise they are having in Delhi. So Muslims are against him, and even the Hindus are also against him, because Hindus are seeing that he is doing it with some sinister design. He is not doing it with favor or love for them. He is doing it with some political agendas and sinister designs. So somewhere in the play also, when the scene has started, a Hindu, let me tell you, a Hindu young man says that he expresses his fear in saying the following words, that we didn't want an exemption. Look, when Sultan kicks me in the teeth and say, pay up you Hindu dog, I am happy, I know I am safe. But when someone tells me I know you are a Hindu, but you are also a human being. Well, that makes me nervous. By saying this, it means that they are not very much sure about the politeness and this favorism of Tughlaq. They even find it doubtful. Hindus are also finding him doubtful, and Muslims are also finding him doubtful. So there is one character whose name is Anul Bak, and he is attacking Delhi, Anul Mulk. And Anul Mulk is attacking Delhi again and again with his 30,000 soldiers, and he is marching towards Delhi, and the news came that he is marching towards Delhi. So the Tughlaq decided to leave Delhi fast and goes to Daulatabad and shift his capital in Daulatabad. But the public is against him. So Sheikh Imamuddin is a person who is a critic of Tughlaq. He came and says, who also resembles Tughlaq, and he came and says that what you are doing, are you favoring Hindu on the cost of Muslim population? You seems to be very much distracted towards the Hindus law, and there is a fear also that if Muslim will expose their religion or will mingle with Hindus, Hindu will say that the Prophet Muhammad is an incarnation of their Lord. So they will make a statue of them and they will worship him. So he says that even Muslims, old people, oldies in Muslims are also very fearful and saying that this Sultan is going to deteriorate our religion. So Sheikh Imamuddin came and he scolded Tughlaq. So Tughlaq in the way does one sinister thing is that he said that Sheikh Imamuddin, you are a better person. You go to Anul Mulk and ask for that I am not ready to fight and I want a compromise. So you go to Anul Mulk, and in my disguise, and he was sent to Anul Mulk in the disguise of this man Tughlaq, because he looks like him, so he has make him wear like a king. And when he went to Anul Mulk thinks that this because he was coming from the elephant, down from elephant, and he was in the dress up of a sultan. So Anul Mulk thinks that he is the real sultan and he killed him. And this is the sinister design of the, or shrewd design of the Tughlaq, that he killed him in the disguise of himself. So another thing happened, that there is a man whose name is Aziz. He comes in the disguise of a Brahmin and impose a case on king and said that this king has looted me and these people are looting me, and they have taken my land and I want justice. Because he is a Brahmin, because he is a Hindu, so king, without thinking about the technicality of the case and all, he does one thing. He said that okay, you are right, you should take this, and the case goes in the favor of Aziz. Now Aziz has taken the clue that this king is towards the Hindu population, and he wants to win the favor of the Hindu population. He, along with a friend Azam, take his friend Azam and asked him that we will go to loot the people, all the Hindu and Muslim people, in the disguise of a Brahmin when they were going to Daulatabad. Then one more thing happened, that Tughlaq is pretending good, but actually he has some designs in his heart to loot the public. And then the same thing has been done by Nehru also. Though he pretended to be a very good prime minister, but he always has some designs to loot people. So symbols are used in this play. And then I would like to tell you, and the thing is that when they are going to the Daulatabad, this Aziz and Azam looted them, and then the thing happened that one day Shahabuddin is a man, and he thought that this king is doing very worse things to the religion, and he is going to deteriorate everything, and he is going to lose everything. So does one thing. They said that we will do one thing. We will kill this Sultan Tughlaq, and conquer the seat. So somewhere in the pray house while praying, so somewhere or another this Tughlaq comes to know that they are going to kill him. So he does one thing. He asks his men, his soldiers and men, to kill them, and kill them in such a cruel way that people will understand that what it is to goes against the law of the country or go against the law of the Tughlaq. So the story moves on, and further what happened, that he banned the prayers also. And then his friend Najib came, and Najib is a friend who is very shrewd, so he used to tell king that you do this and that. Then his stepmother came, and she said that you are doing wrong, you are just playing the chess and you are doing it wrong, you are doing wrong decision. And he asked Barani to tell Tughlaq good things and keep him away from Najib, because Najib is suggesting him bad things. So but he is not listening to anybody. Tughlaq is not listening to anybody. He is even not listening to her mother. Then his mother, and one day it happens that Najib was killed. The news came that Najib was killed. So Tughlaq became very angry, and he wanted to know that who killed Najib. And for this, in revenge, he used to kill many people, innocent people, just because to come to know, to get the fact that who killed Najib. And the thing happens that who killed Najib? The stepmother came and told that I killed Najib, because he is suggesting you shrewd politics and you are not able to rule properly, and you are just losing everything, your reputation and everything. Then one more thing happened. He passes the rule of introducing copper currency in place of gold and silver coins. So you know the copper is very much in abundance and having the same value. So you know that it is much in abundance, so all the people just frosh the coins, and anarchy prevails. And the another thing is that he imposed heavy taxes on population and exclude Hindu population from taxes of jizya, to show that everybody is equal in the eyes of law to him. So he is favoring Hindus much. Then one thing more happened, that while he was going to, when he went to Daulatabad, Aziz was there, and one man was that Sheikh Imamuddin. Sheikh Imamuddin is coming, invited by, after 5 years, Sheikh Imamuddin is invited by this Tughlaq to come and initiate the prayers in the masjid, start the prayers, because they need some pious man to start as an imam. So Sheikh Imamuddin have came, and while he was coming to Daulatabad, or while they are coming to whatever the place he was in, Aziz meet him in the mid and killed him, and take his dress and wear it out, and then went to this Tughlaq in disguise of Sheikh Imam, and said that I am Sheikh Imam. So many things happens, and the Tughlaq, this king, the Sultan, came to know that this Sheikh Imam is not Sheikh Imamuddin, but he is Aziz. And Aziz told that he has also looted him as in the disguise of that Brahmin. So in order to give him the punishment, he was very much impressed by his smartness and cleverness, and he's make him some inspector of some place. And after that we can see that he has gone to sleep, and the prayers are going on, and he missed his prayers, and he came. So the play ended in confusion, like Tughlaq was in confusion. Aziz got the place of his inspector or something, and he has treated Aziz with reward rather than the punishment. And further, the thing which we have to understand in this play is not that the story. The thing which we have to understand is the major themes and issues in the play. So there are 6 major themes and issues in the play, which I would like to tell you one by one. Idealistic leadership. The issue in the play is idealistic leadership. The second issue is religious tolerance as a political strategy. Third is disguise. Fourth is symbolism. Fifth is religion, politics interference. Sixth is agony and notion of repentance. So, now I would like to tell you in detail what these themes mean to you. So, explaining you in detail is that Tughlaq is Tughlaq, as you have to write like this. Tughlaq is a 1964 Indian Kannada language play and written by Girish Karnad, and you know that subtitle is 13 scene play setting during the reign of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, first stage in Urdu. These are the information you need to know before writing about Tughlaq. The play is having the theme of idealistic leadership, and that is the theme. Sultan character is more fascinating in his paradoxical and complex nature. He has paradoxical and complex nature. He is portrayed as a dreamer, a man faction, benevolent and cruel, devout and callous. Both Tughlaq and his enemies appears to be idealistic, yet in pursuit of the idea they penetrate its opposition. The whole play is structured on the opposites. So the play is about opposite. Idealistic leadership is the theme, but it is about the paradoxical and complex nature of the Tughlaq. He appears to be very idealistic, very good, I am very much in favor of everybody, but he is not. The whole play is structured on the opposites. Tughlaq promotes his subjects to maintain justice, equality, progress and peace. Not just peace, but a more proposed life, without any consideration of might and weakness, religion or creed. But to great surprise, he could not win the heart of his people. Tughlaq first was very good, but after he became very shrewd. So he is just showing the image of an idealistic, but he is not. The second theme is religious tolerance as a political strategy. The sultans think that if he will take the policy of religious tolerance, then he will able to rule the India in a very good manner or in a proper way. The Sultan practiced the idea of brotherhood, which is an important aspect of human values in Islam. But this annoyed his men because it undermines their political interests. The effort of Sultan is to build a bridge between the differences of Hindus and Muslims. Which invited displeasures of his mullahs and Maulvis. Mullahs and Maulvis are not liking him. To unite them, he abolished jizya tax and openly declared that both are equal to law. So, because he wants to get the favor of the Hindus, he does that. But he is not actually getting the favors of Hindus, because both Hindus and the Muslims are not having faith on him. The old Muslims even fear that Hindus will convert their Prophet Muhammad, I am talking about Prophet Muhammad, into another incarnation of God. They mocked at his policies. Even Hindus excluded from jizya tax never trusted him. A Hindu expressed his fear in following words: "We didn't want an exempted. Look, when Sultan kicked me in the teeth and says, 'Pay up, you Hindu dog,' I am happy. I know I am safe. But when someone tells me, 'I know you are a Hindu, but you are a human also. You are a human being,' well, that makes me little nervous." So they are not having the faith on him, on Sultan. So by temperament, Tughlaq was a rationalist and philosopher, and he wanted to build up a powerful and united nation. But his strategies failed because he is not able to exempt them in a very nice way. His strategies want more he wanted to move from Delhi to Daulatabad, for it is a Hindu province, to get their favor. And this is perceived as dislocation for the mullahs and Maulvis, because they think that while going to Daulatabad and it is a Hindu province, we will lose our power also, and he even doesn't care about that. Then disguise is the theme. Disguise is important theoretical strategy in this play. The dramatic irony presents Aziz as Dhobi, who disguised himself as Brahmin and later appears in the disguise of a great holy Abbasi, the Khalifa of Baghdad. So invited by the Sultan to Daulatabad to bless the country and start to ban prayers. In disguise, and the second disguise is disguise of Sheikh Imamuddin to Tughlaq. You remember that Tughlaq resembles, or Sheikh Imamuddin resembles Tughlaq, and he asked Tughlaq Imamuddin to go to Ainul Mulk and ask that I am not ready to fight, I am ready for compromise. And Ainul Mulk thinks that Tughlaq have came and he killed that Sheikh Imamuddin. So it was a sinister design to defeat his criticism, and he make him killed. So the third theme is symbolism. So four things are the symbolism, used in symbolism, that prayers. So the play Tughlaq is noted for its symbolism. Four symbols are like prayers, sleep, the game of chess, and rows are used to heighten the effect of the play. At the micro level, prayer symbolizes the religious idealism of Tughlaq. Okay, and at the micro level, what does it symbolizes? At the micro level, prayer symbolizes that it connects man's unconscious need of divine protection and guidance in an hour of anguish. In the beginning, prayer is made compulsory, but later it is banned for a few years, and again it is revived. It is reduced to a mockery when Sultan life is threatened at the time of prayers. So sleep on one level, and the second is sleep. Sleep on one level represents the need for rest in man's life. At the micro level, it became symbolic of peace, while eludes man often. Then the third is the symbol of rose, that is aesthetic and poetic susceptibilities of Tughlaq. It later on became a symbol of withering away from all the dreams and ideas of Tughlaq. At the micro level, the small level, the game of chess is an ordinary game which is popular in India. It also symbolizes political game in which an ordinary washerman, or the washerman, that is Aziz, checkmate whom he has checkmate? The king. Okay. So the clever man has checkmated the most intelligent and clever politician, that is the king. Through his symbolist techniques, the playwright has succeeded in creating the right political atmosphere. Rulers and politicians are religion as a medium. Rulers and politicians are here used as a religion as a medium to befool the common man. They pollute religion by misusing it for fulfilling their dirty politics motives. But religion cannot be used to serve the end of those who are powerful, because it preaches moral and expecting morality from the people. So here it stands for goodness, righteousness and moral conduct, while politics thrives on the intrigue. So the idealist is only a mannerism, and he has to face challenges. So Tughlaq is of great interest as it combines religion and politics of an idealist visionary, Sultan Tughlaq. It intends to show that idealism of the ruler will fail if it will ruin the idealist. The concept like secularism, equality and unity unity in India is like very much ahead of the time, because in India people still are led by the saints and the religion heads. They believe more their religion leaders than a politician. The fairly speeches of the righteous saints swings people this side of the fort. So this is the theme, the next theme. And the next theme is agony and the notion of repentance. That means the feeling of repentance. At the end you will understand the Sultan is having the feeling of repentance. The innumerable murders that Tughlaq has involved in don't bring him peace. That is not that he has get that peace inside him. At last he feels to be very confused and mad also. So, and they called him, because of his policies, people used to call him mad king, but at last he seems to be very confused and mad also. They tear him from within. He feels lonely and frustrated. In such torn and wretched state, he seeks the shelter of God, who can only save him from miseries and the ghost of the murderers. Only he can help him to be a man. For this, all of a sudden, Tughlaq, mighty murderers, plunders and sinister, falls to his knees and clenches his hands to his breast to say, what he is saying? God in heaven, please help me. Please don't let go of my hands. My skin's deep with blood. and I don't know how much of it is mine and how much of it others. I started in your path, Lord, but why I am wandered naked in the desert now? I started in search of you. Why am I a pig rolling in the gory mud? Raise me, clean me, cover me with your infinite mercy. I can only clutch at the hem of your coat with my bloody fingers and plead. I can only beg, have pity on me. I have no one but you now. Only you, only you, you. So from here you can see that it reveals the cry. A person who pretends to be true follower of religion, but he has committed a numberless murders to retain his monarchy. So he committed a crime and he is repenting for this. So he has killed his kinsman. He has killed Imam Uddin and Shihabuddin, who are his relatives, and he has killed his mother, stepmother, with the command that kill her till the that is stoned her till she is dead, because she has killed her or murdered his friend Najib Muhammad. So you see that this is a satire, this is an allegory. This is not something a very simple play. Girish Karnad has put it all in a very beautiful way. So I hope you have understood. It is a demand that ma'am please make it in English, so I am making it.